Dave's road to metal madness began September 13, 1961 in La Mesa, California. He was born into the family of Emily Mustaine and her husband John, a respected banker with a terrible secret.
He was a violent drunk. I kind of feared him because of his drinking.
My dad could be very, very cruel to David at times. I know one time he disciplined him by grabbing his ear with a pair of pliers and dragging him down the driveway home.
The youngest of 4 children and the only son, Dave was 4 when his parents divorced in the summer of '65. His wife and kids moved out, but John Mustaine wasn't finished menacing his family.
We'd move, my dad would find us, we'd move again, he'd find us. I never saw a moving van during the day. We'd always move at night, and he would find my mom and we'd run.
There was little solace in a life on the run, although Dave and his sister Debbie were able to get some relief from music.
She used to play like Cat Stevens and Elton John music.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy.
I think that's where a lot of the melody that I learned came from was, Cat Stevens is a fantastic songwriter.
You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to go through.
Dave's mother cleaned houses to support the family. She and the kids paid a heavy price for their reversal of fortune.
We had hand-me-downs all the time, and kids would make fun of me pretty hard because you have pants in there up around your ankle bones and stuff like that. Kids are wicked,
In the fall of '69, when Dave was 8, Emily Mustaine scraped together enough money to buy Dave a guitar. His sisters didn't find Dave's early efforts encouraging.
He was trying to teach himself how to play at that time. He said, you're making a lot of noise, put it away, you're never going to learn how to play a guitar.
Debbie found something not to her liking, so she broke the guitar over my head. That kind of ended the guitar for a while.
Dave soon found a more suitable outlet for the anger that was growing within him, playing catcher on a Little League baseball team.
Nobody got past David coming into home plate. Even if he didn't have the ball, he'd block him.
If they came and tried to cross the plate, I'd deck them. And the parents all hated me and would boo me whenever I would come up to bat or anything like that because I was really mean.
In February '75, the family moved in with his older sister Suzanne, who'd relocated to Stanton, California, and married a local cop named Bob Wilkie. A religious man, Bob saw nothing but the devil in a raucous record Dave brought home.
Sad Wings of Destiny, great Judas Priest record, and he didn't like it. I said something he found unfavorable and clobbered me.
By the time he was 15, Dave was ready to strike out on his own. So in the fall of '76, he got his own apartment, began selling pot, and dove headfirst into a world of drugs and music.
I started to deal pot because there's not really any other way for a 15-year-old to make money besides peddling your ass, and I wasn't into that. And I was dealing drugs to someone who worked at a record store, and she would come and have sex with me during the day, and then she would drop off records, and I'd give her pot. And she'd go back to work. That's how I got my first Iron Maiden record. That's how I got my first Motorhead record. Full-blown English evil music. Part of the whole style I even have right now is obviously indebted to her being a dope fiend,
By the spring of 1978, David dropped out of high school and picked up an electric guitar.
I started to see the way people would fawn for guitar players. The girls were just crazy about these guys, and the guys would, give them drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. I thought, free pussy, free alcohol, free drugs, I'm in. Where do I sign up?
Playing faster and heavier than his hard rock heroes, he soon cobbled together a speed metal band called Panic. And through the group's small-time gigs, he glimpsed the first signs of salvation.
I liked the power that it gave me. I was very power drunk from it, and people knew my name, and they wanted to hang around with me, and the quality of the girls were going up very rapidly, and I thought, this is great.
At 17, Dave was his own man and afraid of nothing. In June of '78, he tracked down his father, John, and arranged to have a beer with him a few days later. But his father would never keep the appointment.
I get a call from one of my sisters saying that he'd had an accident.
My dad had a very serious aneurysm, and no one knew how to get a hold of the family. So it was about 2 days before they finally got a hold of me, and by that time it was too late to give permission to really do anything to help him.
When Dave got the news from his sister Suzanne, he was in the midst of a drinking binge. Still, he raced to the hospital.
I rode on a moped with a bottle of Old Granddad in my pocket, drinking straight whiskey, running red lights. I showed up drunk. My sister Suzanne, she looked at me and she said, "You're going to end up just like him." And I'll be damned if she wasn't right.
John Mustaine died on June 23, 1978, but his death did nothing to slow his son's growing addictions.
I'd already tried psychedelics, LSD, and mushrooms and stuff like that. And everything was legal to me because I answered to my own set of angels. When I realized I was a drug addict and an alcoholic, I didn't think, oh my God, I'm like Otis from Andy and Mayberry, you know. I thought, oh my God, I'm Keith Richards. I'm James Dean. I'm cool.
Within a year, Dave was freebasing cocaine and getting bored with Panic. Then in the fall of '81, he saw a newspaper ad for a guitar player. It had been placed by a band called Metallica.
There was an ad in there for lead guitarist wanted, and they had said they were looking for someone influenced by Iron Maiden and Motorhead.
I just got this phone call from this guy who basically just called up and started talking. I mean, after hello, I don't think I said anything for like the next 10 minutes. He was just going blah, 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 blah.
So I go to audition for this band, and I took my amps and everything, and I plugged in, and I'm warming up.
He had this shrieking lead sound that would cut through any soundproofing. Everything just was exploding out of everywhere of him.
I said, well, are we going to audition? And they said, no, you got the job.
Dave Mustaine believed he'd finally found a place in the world where he fit in. But his sanctuary would be short-lived. Next, Mustaine and Metallica duke it out.
He was on the road to killing possibly all of us at one point.
And later, Dave's Dance with Death.
They took me to an emergency room, and then I died.